Hello my strong and beautiful people. As you can tell from the video, I am feeling myself just a little bit, and that's because this is honestly the best my skin has looked in a very long time. For those of you who don't know, I suffered from cystic acne for years, and I've tried everything from ProActiv to antibiotics to over-the-counter treatment, and those seem to work only temporarily. Then maybe a couple months later it would come back with full force. But I decided to invest in a skin esthetician, and that honestly has been the best thing and the best investment I have made in my life so far. God bless her, because I don't know where my skin would be without her help, honestly speaking. So in this video, I'll be showing you guys what treatment procedures goes on during our treatment sessions, so stay tuned.
So I'm going to be using the Ultra Dental Cleanser from Face Reality Skincare. Try to sidetrack real quick. Ugochi is on my Acne Bootcamp program, and for this particular program, with clients who join the bootcamp, I utilize Face Reality Skincare products to be able to manage, maintain, and address the acne that the person is dealing with on their skin, whether that be inflamed acne, non-inflamed acne, acne imposters such as fungal folliculitis, and things of that nature. So again, we're using the Ultra Dental Cleanser on her face just to do our first cleanse of the skin. Alright, so that was our first cleanse. I'm going to go again with another cleanse with the Ultra Dental Cleanser. As we always in the treatment room, and as I tell my clients, always do a double cleanse, as it is very crucial in the cleaning process and overall process of when it comes to performing your skincare regimen. You want to make sure that those products you're about to put on that are very active, or in some cases very potent to address whether it be pigmentation, texture on the skin, the inflammation on the skin, and so forth. You want to make sure that it has a good base, which is ultimately the skin being clean, removed from any dirt, debris, oil, just to make sure again that the base is clean and those products are able to penetrate through the dermis, through the pores, and go out to perform what they're supposed to do per their ingredient deck that they were formulated to perform. So we want to make sure the skin is cleansed. And there's a lot of different things out there that people tell you. Say your ABCs when you're cleaning. Listen to a song. That's a good 60 seconds when you're cleaning, just to make sure that you are cleaning the skin properly and for the appropriate period of time. Again, to make sure that the base of the skin is thoroughly cleansed. And you don't have to be rough either. Be very gentle on the skin. And you go into the neck, you want to cleanse upward. And then of course for treatments, we stop at the base of the temples. And of course, a nice hot steamy towel. So what comes with being a part of the Acne Bootcamp program here at Beauty Beauty is that one must first go through a consultation, and then if that person is ready to move forward with the treatment, then they'll go ahead and do their treatment at their first initial consultation. And at the first initial consultation, it's very in-depth, where, as I tell clients, I'm trying to get all up in your business. Not to be nosy, but to make sure that, you know, I'm actually going to be able to provide you with the service, the goals that you want to have met and reach, if I'm really able to do that. And if not, I'm always one for outsourcing people to go elsewhere to meet their needs, to ensure that they are really receiving what it is that they desire to receive versus spinning their wheels. That's one thing I just dislike. If I can't do something, I don't know something, she can definitely co-sign that. I'll be like, I'll get back to you on that. Yeah. I'm not sure about that. For sure. So They go through a thorough consultation of me just asking questions about, you know, why they're here. Now, obviously we know for a facial, but what is it that they think that I can do for them? What are their top 3 skincare goals that they want to achieve? And one thing that if I don't hear it in their goal, I often say number 1 should be education about the skin, and then particularly about their skin, so that they can better be able to achieve the goals they want to achieve. Because once they're educated about their skin, I believe that clients that are educated are clients that are dedicated and consistent clients, and clients that will be able to manage and maintain their skin. And if there's a hiccup, they already have somewhat of an underlying understanding about the skin and are able to pinpoint themselves the root of the problem, just in case if I'm not available, or it's something that doesn't deem necessary to have a professional to give them feedback on. They too are self-sufficient enough to know how to care for their skin. And that's what I really want for my clients. I want self-sufficiency. I want them to, of course, to stay up to date and consistent with their appointments and treatments. But most importantly, I want them to be self-sufficient and be able to understand their skin for themselves. So next up, what we're doing after we just did our double cleanse, I'm now allowing the skin to kind of steam before I prepare to apply the hydrating enzyme on the skin. So Ugochi's last 2 treatments were peels. And while yes, I wanted to do a peel today, I want to instead, for my treatment care plan, deviate to doing a face reality hydrating enzyme treatment. Simply because I want to hydrate the skin. I want to make sure the skin is, the barrier is still doing good. And then that too, she doesn't have as much inflammation as we have had the last 2 visits in her cheek area. So her skin's looking pretty good. She does have some inflammation here on her right side of her face, but nothing too alarming compared to the photos of last time in her last visit that I was just looking at. So I'm going to be doing Face Reality's hydrating enzyme mask. And this is a plant-based mask that I really, really love from them. And also helps the skin to be able to exfoliate. It has some papaya in there, which is really good for detoxification, be it topically or internally. If you didn't know and you got a papaya and you want to make a papaya smoothie, you can actually take a few of those seeds in the papaya, place them in your smoothie, and that will actually help to remove any particular parasites that may be within the body in your smoothie. So I found that out when I was working out with my trainer at the beginning of this year, and she had on there part of our morning routine after we would do the first half of our intermittent fasting. We would do smoothies at the next half of it, and it had to be a papaya smoothie, and you had to drop a couple of those seeds from the papaya to help with detoxification within the body and your skin. Did you know that?
I didn't know until you told me about it. Yeah. But it's crazy how like
definitely made me go to the bathroom. I put too many seeds in there, being overzealous.
But how much are you supposed to put in there? Like 2? Or
she said no. I think at the time she was saying between 5 to 7. I put about like 15 to 20.
Oh my god, you tripled.
I did a lot. But honestly, I didn't see the number at first. I didn't see that she had a number until after the fact, and we had to work out that evening and work out. Kayla couldn't work out. My stomach was messed up.
When you have like stomach issues or gastric issues, you can't work out. It's like it makes it so much harder.
She was like, yeah. She's like, how many seeds did you put in there? And I told her, she was like, it says on there, you know, this number. And I'm like, where at? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I had to make up for that missed workout session.
Does papaya to you have a smell?
Does it have a smell?
Yeah, not like a fruity smell. But does it have
well, some do. It depends on how it's formulated. So like Skin Script is another line that I carry, and a lot of their enzymes do have like a really fruity smell to it. But with Face Reality, they try to shy away from fragrance when it comes to skincare products. And I kind of agree with them on that, because the thing is, you want to make sure that when you're saying it's good for all skin types, like this hydrating enzyme treatment it's supposed to be good for all skin types, skin conditions, you want to make sure that fragrance or any type of scent, to the best of your ability, is not going to mess with the efficacy of the product, nor cause any sensitivity to the client's skin. So in some cases, in this case, like if they extracted it from papaya, you can't really take the scent out of papaya out of papaya, right? The scent is there. But you don't want to enhance it with other ingredients that may be considered like perfume, to kind of increase the scent of the papaya. Naturally, it has a scent already. And some people know pick it up, like some of my clients can pick it up with this enzyme. I don't particularly smell the papaya in the enzyme, but I obviously know on the back of the ingredient deck that papaya is extracted from papaya. So I like to kind of massage the enzyme into the skin to kind of further break it up, the cells within the skin, to further promote exfoliation of the enzyme. And then afterwards, I just leave it alone, allow the steam to do its job with softening of the pores, to allow the enzyme to go deeper into the dermis, to cause an exfoliation response to the skin, to slough off any dead skin cells, break up any congestion in the skin, and also provide some brightening effects to the skin and hydration ultimately within her skin. So then I just leave it alone and let the enzyme and steam work hand in hand together. Put some goggles over her eyes and let her relax. I'm gonna turn this light back on actually because you're recording, but normally I'll turn the lights off as well.
Okay.
But because you're recording, I won't turn it off.
No problem.
So we're gonna let that enzyme sit for 7 minutes. And during this time, normally I like to go wash my bows just to make sure that I'm kind of sanitizing as I go along. And then always putting on new gloves each time I leave the treatment room or I'm not touching her skin. So far, like since being on the program, what's been your thoughts? What's been your overall feelings about the program regarding the results you're seeing, all that stuff?
Like the number one thing for me is like I wish I started like seeing an esthetician. I wanted to for like a very long time, but I don't know. I guess it wasn't the right time like financially. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait a little bit and do my research and like see if it's around.
And that's good. You did your research. Keyword research.
Yeah.
Research.
So yeah, I used the time to research. I did most of my research through like Instagram. That's just where most people find like businesses nowadays. I feel like it's social media, and of course like word of mouth. So I heard really good things, and I saw really good progress like with the clients that she had on her page, and I was just like, this is something I really need to do. And I love skin health and skincare so much.
Yep, skincare is healthcare. You know what I mean? It goes hand in hand.
Oh yeah, and like I prioritize skincare like over a lot of things because it's the first thing people see when they look at you. It's your skin. So I really am a strong advocate for like healthy skin.
Yeah, that's good. And I love like how you said you did your research, you didn't rush it, even though like sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, my skin is going haywire, I need to find somebody.
Yeah.
And then usually when we do that, we end up going to somebody that we're not happy with because we didn't research their aesthetic, the type of clients they address and deal with, all those different things. And I am so sorry, I forgot to put on your mesh hair cap. What's up for me? You know, I be trying to preserve our natural hair clients. The steam be loving on y'all a little too much. Them edges start to roll up. Maybe I should turn this way just a little bit so you don't burn your face. Okay.
Yeah, and it was also really important to me to find like a black skin esthetician because I've been to like dermatologists when I was like younger, and they were all like either white American or Asian American. And I was just, I don't know, I felt like my skin needs were different. and I needed to find somebody who kind of looked like me to understand my skin a little
And
bit.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's
I mean, the industry definitely has still a lot of work to do when it comes to prioritizing learning more about people of color skin.
Yeah.
Because pretty much when we boil down to the numbers, we make a huge part, if not not all of it, but a large part of the beauty industry when it comes to being consumers. So it would behoove them to have not just us trained in our skin, but other ethnicities and cultures to be trained in multicultural skin in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, we have a lot of corrective skincare issues, and a lot of it boils back down to our diet. You know, we eat certain foods that really our body just really should not have within the body because it's hard to either break it down or it just doesn't, again, fit well with the genetic makeup of our body. So it's really important that, like, when you do, like, for me as a corrective skincare esthetician, who particularly most of the time only see, you know, clients who have corrective skincare issues, that being acne, rosacea, eczema, and so forth, it's really, really important that we are not, as people of color, what do I want to say, like, not bottled down, but we have all these patients and clients coming, and then we have to be like, I'm sorry, I can't take you anymore. Like where I'm at currently, I can't take any new clients right now because it's just so many of you all.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've made a list of estheticians that I trust, who I've worked alongside with, or again, that I trust. I've seen their work. They've gone through similar trainings with me, and I say, hey, so-and-so can take you. You know, I love her work. Here's her information. Check her out. Do your research on her. Because again, I never want to have to turn anybody away, but if I had to, I don't want to turn them away empty-handed. I want them to be able to go, you know, outsource somewhere else to someone else. But it's definitely a need that all people who in this industry know how to care for our skin. Because in school, girl, yes, we focused on a lot more of our other counterparts than we did our skin conditions and our skin types. Yeah. Particularly for multicultural skin. So as sad as that is, most of my continued education when it came to being of service to my clientele base, which is multicultural skin, I got that outside of aesthetic school. And it's sad, you know, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I'm here now, and I'm able to reciprocate what I've learned with other estheticians and with you all.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's crazy because in school, even if we did learn about skin conditions, there were always like pictures of like, you know, the light skin, like white skin. It wasn't like dark colored skin.
Nope.
And I think like a doctor or somebody, I don't remember, he actually made a whole book on how skin conditions look on like people of color. And I was like, that's actually.
And yeah, they have what's called in our industry a Fitzpatrick scale. So the Fitzpatrick scale ranges with a range of complexions and how the skin burns and tans and all those different things. So I always like to test the hot towel in between my inner forearms. Is that okay?
Yeah.
To make sure that it's not too hot for the clients, because that towel cavity does get really hot, and that's the worst thing you want to do is to burn or scold your client with a hot towel. Whereas most clients love when it's nice, steamy, and hot, I still like to test in my inner forearms just to make sure. And as you all saw, I did glove up again with some new gloves. I go through gloves like crazy, which I think anybody in this profession or just in general, doctors, hospitals, you know, you go through gloves like crazy because you're constantly touching things. So now that we have finished with her hydrating enzyme treatment, before we get to the favorite part that most clients don't like, but I love, is extractions. But before I do that, I want to hydrate her skin using Face Reality's Hydra Balance, which is a hydrating gel that I love to help hydrate the skin and allow this treatment to really go to new heights when we're talking about hydration. And the number one base ingredient for this particular ingredient, the Hydra Balance, is aloe vera gel.
Yeah, I love
aloe vera gel. Yeah, it's definitely calming. It's soothing. It helps with inflammation. And I always tell clients, you know, such as Yugochi, you know, we have the Hydra Balance, of course, to act as a hydrator, but it is not in the family of a moisturizer. And I'll break that down a little bit, what I mean by that, because some clients may think, you know, I'm still not getting enough moisture in my skin. Or I still feel like my skin needs a little bit more slip to it. And they may only just want to purchase the Hydra Balance. And it's my job to educate them why they should have the Hydra Balance in conjunction with a moisturizer, such as the Clear Derma or Current Peptide Cream from Face Reality. So now we're going to take the Face Reality Hydra Balance, and I'm going to take about this much in the palm of my hand and rub it around to my fingertips. And then I like to apply it to the skin prior to extractions to hydrate the skin, bring back basically some luminosity to the skin as I go ahead and apply the pressure that happens with extractions. I don't want the skin to be too dry. What we make can sometimes happen to cause like rips or tears in the skin, which that shouldn't happen if extractions is done properly. But sometimes, again, you just use a hot towel to remove the enzyme, which therefore kind of takes away some of that hydration and slip to the skin. So just gonna rub this in and do a nice little face massage. And really work that into the skin and into her pores. So before I get into her extractions, I always like to look at the skin to kind of see where exactly I need to focus on with extractions and what may need more of my attention. So like in her forehead area, I definitely still see some fine bumps there, but as far as like fully going in with extractions, I won't need to use my extractor tool, but I will go over with my skin spatula and just go ahead and use the skin spatula vibrations to be able to pull up any dirt, oil, or debris that still may be within the pores. On this side of the face, as we see, she does have 2 large non-inflamed nodules on the skin, so it would behoove me to just leave it alone. Definitely go over with some high frequency. I have some spot treatment that I'm going to use, and then ice it as well. So I'm going to leave those alone. There was actually something here which looks like with the enzyme and removal with a towel, it did open up by itself, and it did remove the contents of sebum with inside of this particular acne lesion. She does have still some texture on her skin, and you all, let's normalize texture, okay? Texture is part of being human. So when I say texture, I mean ultimately texture pertaining to the raised inflammation. But overall, her skin is full of texture because she's a human being with pores, and we love texture because it makes us who we are. So as far as texture pertaining to still having some small raised impactions on her skin, and when I go to extract it, I'll be able to tell whether or not it was truly acne or was it an acne imposter, which basically was some sebum or oil trapped underneath the skin, and I just helped to remove it out of the skin. Overall, we're looking good in the lower jawline area. Still got some pigmentation we want to focus on and address. Nose area definitely can do some extractions. And this side of the cheek looks much better than it was last time, because this side was the one that we were having issues with. So we trade one side for the other. It's okay, it's okay. All right, so again, we do have some probably mild extractions here, but overall, pertaining to her skin now, she's no longer what I had her categorized as moderate inflamed acne with mild non-inflamed acne. At this point, I don't see any true inflamed acne as of right now. So what I mostly see is non-inflamed acne, which is very mild on the skin. And mild non-inflamed acne is usually the hardest acne to get under control, simply because non-inflamed acne is sitting underneath the skin. And what we need to do is use products to be able to, if not push the non-inflamed acne up to the surface of the skin, we want to make sure the products that we're using is addressing the root of the non-inflamed acne, and then therefore causing that pore to shed, so that therefore the congestion within the skin can dissipate and therefore be no longer in existence in her skin. So of course, ultimately we want it to come out, but in some cases for some clients, if the product that they're using is the appropriate product for their skin condition and skin type, usually the product will go directly to the root of the problem, address it, and therefore that client is a happy client because they don't have to worry about acne lesions protruding through their skin in the form of inflammation. And most clients love that, right? Because they hate when their inflamed acne is showing its head on the surface of their skin. But as I always tell clients, while we hate it, it's still a good thing to see it, because ultimately we know our skin is still in communication with us, and we don't have to run to a doctor all the time pertaining to our skin. We can just figure out, okay, why is my skin responding this way? Did I eat a certain way the last few days? Did I use a product the last few days that's irritating my skin, or has therefore caused my skin to purge? You know, all those different things we're able to now understand, or have a better understanding as to what's going on with our skin. So with the Acne Bootcamp program, it basically consists of between I say recommended minimum 6 treatments, max 12 for some people. Some people may have to go longer than that, but we guarantee that you have to stay with the program for the first 3 months to see results pertaining to texture change, possible inflammation decreasing, and things of that nature. So about 3 months, I ask for clients to help them get their skin under control and their acne managed and maintained. Not necessarily clear, but managed and maintained, just because we know acne takes about 90 days to form itself. So realistically, if I know acne takes about 90 days to form itself, there's no way I can go against getting you clear before then in totality. Now, some clients do see results before 3 months, because 90 days is basically 3 months, before 3 months. But is all of their goals met officially? In most cases, no. But the inflammation is decreased more than likely, and usually clients like that either had maybe mild to moderate inflamed acne, which is very quick to address, manage, and maintain, particularly when a client makes the necessary lifestyle adjustments when it comes to their diet, what they're using on their skin, from their detergent to their toothpaste to changing out their pillowcase, often changing or switching up the frequency of their hair products and making sure they're not pore clogging. So it just really depends. For you, as I was just looking at your chart, our last appointment 2 weeks ago marked our sixth treatment together. So today makes number 7. So far we have we've made lots of progress. So we're doing better. I love to notice, like, when I'm not having to spend as much time on clients when it comes to extractions per when they first started with me. While it's a joyous occasion for you all, because I'm not having to poke and prod as much or apply much pressure, it's a good thing to know that the skin is properly, taking in like your product's ingredients to address any inflammation or potential congestion or the excessive oiliness that some clients may experience who are very oily. So this here is Face Reality's Selfie toner that I'm using to further remove and help with any particular bacteria within the skin. We want to just make sure that we are sealing things up and making sure again that if there's any bacteria still present on the skin, the selfie will help to further kill that bacteria, as well as help to break up the congestion. So like in this area here, I'm going to do some high frequency to further help, just kind of help that area over here decrease in inflammation and size. Before I do the high frequency, I'm going to do the cryotherapy roller balls that I retail to my clients when it comes to icing. All clients who struggle with inflamed acne must ice after they cleanse and before they tone. So this here is my cryotherapy ball that I use for either ice therapy or heat therapy for clients. So I would hold the ball like this. It's nice and cold coming out of the refrigerator, and this will just really help to calm any inflammation on the skin that is present and provide a nice cooling sensation as well. And it's not just for your face. You can also use it if you're working out. So if you have a sore muscle after you leave the gym, it stays cold for 3 to 6 hours. So you can put it in the pouch that it comes in, put it in your gym bag, and when you're ready to use it, it'll still be nice and cold. So you can carry this with you when you're working out, or if you're at home and you're like, hey, you go realize you got a sore muscle in your back, your arm, your foot, just pop this out of the refrigerator and do a nice little cryotherapy, ice therapy. Or if you want to use it for heat therapy, you would untwist this area here, have some nice hot water that either you boiled or that's nice and hot, and then you would drop the ball in the water for just a few minutes, and then the ball will consume the heat from the water, and then therefore you have your heat therapy. So next up we have high frequency. And normally you can put either like a gauze over the client's face. I'm just gonna go directly on top for today. And I'm just lightly tapping in the areas where it needs a little bit of high frequency to help further kill that bacteria and decrease the size of inflammation currently present on the skin. So you want to avoid this for clients with epilepsy, clients who may have like braces. You also want to sometimes forewarn your clients that they may feel like they're tasting like they're sucking on a roll of quarters if they have like fillings, like such as from cavities that are not white fillings but are the metal fillings. Or they may smell like a certain smell of metal. But it's nothing to be alarmed about. Now, of course, if I had a client that was bleeding like effusively, I would not do this directly on top of them. I would definitely be using a gauze. And then voila, we'll sanitize that in just a little bit. Okay. So I'm actually gonna incorporate today in the treatment. I did it last time as well. This is from my line, the Body Balance, and this here is my tea tree acne hydro balance. So I added some tea tree in here, as well as one of the base being aloe vera, and a few other ingredients that is different than Face Reality, as I really wanted to focus on a hydrating gel that hydrates the skin, but also too can tackle that can tackle the inflammation as well. Whereas Face Reality's Hydro Balance tackles hydration of the skin and providing the skin with the proper amount of hydration. So I think this is a perfect hydrating gel to finish with, or Hydro Balance to finish with, from my line, the Body Balance. And it has tea tree oil in there, so you'll definitely feel that and smell it as well on your skin. Any sensation at all?
No.
Okay. So definitely hydrating, but also can help with, like I said, addressing the present inflammation on her skin. This has been a favorite of mine as well, and while this has not yet launched on our website, I look forward to when we launch it, particularly for people who struggle with acne-prone skin but still want to have hydration. So the difference between hydration, when we talk about hydration, we're talking about like hydrating the skin pertaining to H2O, like water. So while yes, you need to drink your water and eat your water with fruits high in water concentration, you also want to be able to apply products that have a high water concentration index when it comes to applying it topically. And then you want to, of course, seal in the hydration by using a moisturizer to lock in the hydration, but also again provide the skin with the supple amount of moisture that is needed. And so I always liken it into when we wash our hair as women, we will wash with shampoo, and then we'll use a conditioner, which is like a hydrator to help provide the hair follicles back with the hydration that it was stripped from when we wash the skin. And then we'll go in with a thicker, more emollient moisturizer to lock in the hydration that is left from the conditioner, whether it be a leave-in spray conditioner or a conditioner where you wash but then you have to remove it, and then you go and spray a couple of spritz of some hair oil in there, but then you lock it in with a thicker moisturizer or curling mousse moisturizer, depending on how you're going to style your hair. So it's the same concept for the body. You want to hydrate the skin, but then you want to lock in that hydration. So I'm going to lock in that hydration today using Face Reality's Current Peptide Cream. This is really good to moisturize the skin. It has anti-aging benefits as well in the product. And I'm going to also cocktail it with Face Reality's Daily SPF 30 Lotion. So I love to cocktail these two together like so. And then apply to the skin, as it will leave a nice slip and sheen, but also layer of moisturization and protection as she will be now heading outside. And of course, while I love the sun, and I say always go out in the sun, particularly now because we know it's about to get colder, so be outside enjoying the weather. But if you know you're using active ingredients, such as serums and acne meds and things of nature, you definitely want to make sure you are protecting your skin with SPF, as we do not want the sun to damage all of this hard work you're doing, because you've used active ingredients that therefore will attract the sun in a not so positive manner or way. Then I always like to end with some moisturizer on my client's lips to further hydrate not just their face and their neck, but let's hydrate and provide her with some luscious, luscious lips. And I am going to be using Glymed Plus Lip Balm that is super hydrating. Is a really, really big fave amongst my clients, and it's, as I say, ultra hydrating. And of course, on a disposable lip wand. And voila, we have Gochi on her 7th Acne Bootcamp treatment. She has about 1 or 2 more to go, and then we're going to officially graduate Missy Gochi and get to some more advanced treatments.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited, and I look forward to seeing your results and continuing to help you with your skincare journey.